May 29, they say, is sacrosanct. Many Nigerians are looking forward to May 29. Talking about countdown to May 29, political situation in the country. Don't forget also the 22 trillion naira question. Loan. What in the world is happening? What is going on? And of course, you get to see the romance between Wike and President-elect Tinubu. These are all political, activities that are building up to May 29. You get to hear, you shall not, you cannot swear in a president-elect that has issues to answer. Still build up to May 29. May 29, all cabinets dissolve. We have to get a new cabinet to build up to May 29. Politically speaking, is Nigeria coming alive once more? That's after the election. Barrister Imadi.
Well, I don't even know how to begin, but it is true that elections were conducted and results released, winners announced. There are issues.
You're talking as if you're so sad about everything.
I'm not sad at all. I'm still thinking of how to approach the various dimensions you...
Yeah.
The question is, there has been no election in Nigeria. In fact, our laws make provision for post-election agitations. You have the tribunal, you have the courts and the likes. I see May 29th being. I think there will be a swearing in. It does not remove the fact that those who are aggrieved are already in court. It's their right to be in court. I do not know if there was a clear winner in the elections, but I'm sure there will be swearing in.
But INEC said there was a clear winner, so let's leave it at that for now.
So if there was a clear winner, then nothing will stop the swearing in. The court will not stop the swearing in. Post-election crisis will be settled by the tribunals and the courts. I also don't know if you want me to talk about Wike and Asiwaju. That one is settled. He invited the man he thought was not good enough at the beginning, maybe very beginning, to commission projects and was asking. Wike is also sure they will be swearing in that when it comes to your time, pay me the money I've spent. And the man gave an outright answer. I don't owe you. It's your streets, you live here, and the likes. Whatever romance that Wike was perfuming himself to have with Asiwaju, I'm sure that was a deep blow. And he would now, unless if he's not the Wike that I know, the message would have been gotten. Having said that, those who are saying there will be no swearing in, I don't know how they are going to do it. I'm aware that the Aso Rock is already being renovated. I don't know what went wrong. So much money has been put into the Aso Rock since Buhari came on board for the new person coming. The president has also said he will likely relocate to Daura or to Niger Republic, and so on and so forth. But I think that after all this dust that are already settling, there will be a government in place come May 29th this year. As to whether the government will stay for the 4 years that is supposed to be the tenure, I won't know. That's left for the court and what the court will see. But I think that our judiciary should also take a lead from the UK court on a Kuremadu and not begin to tamper justice with mercy while the process is on. What the court must do, the court must do. I also believe that the problem just now is in the parliament. So many people, more than 10, 15 people a week or so ago, were interested in the Senate presidency and the House of Representatives speakership. And I am also aware from the grapevines and its public place that they are being careful now to ensure that there's a balance of power. I haven't come with a Muslim ticket, north, east, and southwest. I think what I'm gathering is good enough to believe that or to say that the Senate presidency should come to the South. Whether the Southeast is more deserving, or the incoming president is also going to toe the line of 97% and 5%, I won't know. Because the feelers is that the Akwa Ibom man may become the Senate president. The question will be, like you mentioned earlier, there are 3 principal tribes, the Hausas, the Igbos, and the Yorubas. If we have the Hausa and the Yoruba in the presidency, one would have expected, if we look at that tripod, that the Senate presidency should go to the Southeast. But in my opinion, it's not likely to go to the Southeast because the APC government that is outgoing has said that the world should not expect him to treat the same way those who give 97% and those who give 5%. If you look at the performance of the Southeast, the last election, politically speaking, they may not be deserving of the Senate presidency under the new administration. That is why they are flouting Akpabio. And because of the fact that we believe so strongly that the North is heavily populated, they are tinkering with the idea of making Tajuddin from Kaduna State the speaker. All of this will come to pass sooner than we expect. As soon as the inauguration is done,
we hit the ground running.
The ground will be hit running, yes.
Okay, over now to you. The 22 trillion naira loan question. I like saying that, is it right for Nigerians to go for that loan? Still all about the political situation right now in the country. Take it up from there.
It's a very good question. This administration, since its inception, has, I can't even count how many times we've applied and been granted these loans of trillions of naira. Now, the question is not just about asking for these loans or the loans being granted. What? We are in Nigeria. Do you see what these loans are being used for? So to my mind, I don't think a government that is exiting office should be asking for loans to do what? Is it for your retirement? Or do you have any other thing to do with these loans? Let the man who is coming come to steer the affairs of the nation. If he comes in and say, oh, fine, we need a loan, let it come from him. You have just, you think they started with the loan about 2 months before the presumed date of the new inauguration to take over power. I see no need for it because it even, beats my imagination. Like these Western countries, do they besiege us? Do they flout these loans in our eyes, or we are the ones that go to them? Because if you look at the loans we've had so far, servicing the loan alone is are we taking loans to service our loans? These are questions we should answer. Because if you look at the Nigerian budget, a lot has been set aside to service the loans we've already collected. I really know Buhari that's his person, because like I keep on saying, I've never been a fan of his administration, of his style of government. When he was head of state, he also plunged Nigeria into indebtedness, and that is what he's doing. So the man who is coming to sit on the horse as the president of Nigeria has a lot to do, because we are talking about changing the mentality of the stock, changing how we run our affairs, changing how government is being run. But again, we are talking about loans upon loans upon loans. How many trillions, sir?
Now 22 trillion. Now we want to ask for 22 trillion.
22 trillion.
Okay.
So how do we clear off this debt? When do we clear off this debt? Is it that Nigerians or we can't produce enough for ourselves? So to me, that loan is a no-no.
All right.
The loan is the idea of the loan is despicable, and I condemn it totally. I don't think we need such a loan or such a person to be asking for when you are leaving office.
Okay, because right now it's before the National Assembly. They've not even signed it already. 22 trillion. And I've just been asking about that 22 trillion. Come on, you have just so many months to go, but now counting days to go, and you're requesting for a loan. Does it really make sense?
Wilson.
Let me start by
shocking you. Loan is not a bad business. If you're a real businessman, you're not doing a bad business. What is bad is the intention of the loan.
The intention of the loan.
Yes. And whether you clearly define what you want to do with that money before the money arrives. Many countries in the world, they borrow. At a point, America was the largest borrower. You'll be surprised about that, but that was the truth.
True, yeah.
And what America was owing, I'm not sure the entire African had that kind of debt at the time. That's a historical background. And so for me, it is not, I don't quarrel with loans when they are taken. But what I quarrel with that the loans must be proper, you must define what you do with the loans and say this is what I want to do with these loans. And religiously follow those programs you have for those loans. If I borrow money to go and farm, for instance, I should make sure that farm is my first priority. I should also understand before I even get that loan, what am I putting on that farm? What is return on investment? Does it cover the cost of that money? Can I make returns such a way that I won't go back to take loans again in the future? Can it change my narrative in terms of the business drive and returns on investment? Now, these are the basic things you do. That's why you discover that you have a control mechanism in some of these countries where loans, when loans are taken, they are focused on an idea. In our country, like I said today, don't forget that every man wants to be a big man. Let me give an example. Today you are appointed as a councillor. The next thing, your family members come after you. And your house is now like a Mecca. The entire place, in the morning, in the night, in the evening, people are waiting to see you. And they prepare their budget on your own. And nobody cares to ask the question, how much is your salary in a month? All the bother is that my brother is now a councillor, he's the big man, give me money. And that, again, explains why I said that all of us should individually think, what role are we playing? Because when we are running this kind of agenda, we do not know, they are what we call the undercurrents. We look at the superstructure, but what about the undercurrent? What is influencing it? Today I tell you, Wilson, if my brother here becomes chairman of a council, he won't sleep in his house. If he's going to sleep, 2 hours sleep will be too much for him.
To be a maker of some sort.
Because they will keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. Some will give you a budget. Some will call you and tell you something and tell you, brother, those don't even know your brothers. They will still calling you. Your distant relatives are 3 generations whose parents were used to be part of your. They will call you, and they will be a queue. And you'll be surprised that people you never saw for a long time just come and knock your door, brother. Sister, where have you been? You have been so far. You say, I come now. And now what happens? Now tell me, a man on 400,000 a month, he gets requests of about 2-3 million that month. Where does he run to? If he has no courage, he will collapse. He will do worse things because he wants to satisfy the family. And when he does those things, people will come to him and say he's a criminal when he's caught. Is there people who came to you to say, give us money, and some people who will say, oh, so, and that's why the thief. I know that's why the thief. I just say, wow. They pushed him to it. Yes. So all right. That's why today I called. I said, let all of us individually ask ourselves, what are we doing?
All right.
Now, on the issue of the loan.
Yeah, the loan.
Now, this loan function, for me, I do not think that the timing was right. Because you see, for everything you do in life, time is of essence. Time is of essence. What determines whether that thing makes sense or not is the timing. The emotions you are carrying now at this 11th hour is a very serious problem. But I must tell you, that money may not come until Buhari leaves. That money may not come. Because the processes of getting loan from international community are a chain of processes. One of them is your approval.
Someone saying the law will fast track because it will soon leave.
No, hold on a minute. These are all, what we call speculations.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying now. But the point I'm making is this. If I understand very clearly the way loans are being assessed by international community, it will take a while. We have just barely 3 weeks, maximum, for this government to excuse the system. And what happens is that by the time you apply, as you apply for this loan now, they will need a parliamentary approval, which is part of the conditions for them to say, okay, we agree that loan should go. That approval has not come yet. They are still working on it. And when it comes out, they will not take a process to bring that money out. Now, what I'm trying to say here is this. is that, first of all, my brother, today somebody was talking about something of why is the West doing this to us? Let me tell you, the West is happy when you are subjugated.
All right.
Never be deceived.
All right.
They are happy because you are subjugated. The day you leave that subjugation, they are in trouble. So everybody wants to take advantage of where he can have a soft spot.
Soft spots, okay.
And in our system, in the world today, Africa is their soft spot. So until Africans break away from that, Murtala Muhammad was killed. Why was he killed? Not because of his person, but because of what he represented. He told them in one of the conferences that Africa has come of age, that Africa should be allowed to decide his fate and his future. That have we ever come to the West to decide for you what you do next? Right. Why are you always on this? Leave us to take our own. Okay. And what now happened? There was a gag-up. And the gag-up that killed that Murtala Muhammad, the story had it. If it's not true, it's those who said the story that are liars. It was held in UK.
Let's let that speculative.
No. I'm coming, sir.
Yes.
I'm coming, sir. And so, many people were fingered. It's not a hidden story. Many people were fingered. Some of them are big boys in our country on this issue of what happened to Murtala Muhammad. So what I'm trying to say here is this. This particular style of the West is that it keeps them comfortable when you keep coming to them to beg them for loans. And when they give you loans, you owe them a moral responsibility to be subjugated to them.
Okay, I'll come back to you, comrade. Barrister, you heard him. The interconnectivity of everything, because the loan is linked to the politics. Someone say this is like, a last-minute cash out. Like what you rightly said, it's not the support of the timing. We talked about parliament approval, because since we went by in our country, it will take up to 48 hours. Immediately, you see the approval.
If it's local.
I mean, Barrister, what do they say about this?
The truth of the matter is, if it's the bottlenecks that, or the process that we see as cumbersome, if Nigeria wants the loan, the parliament will sit today, Sunday, to get it approved, because whatever the president says, that's the kind of parliament that we have. But nobody is saying that taking loan is a bad thing. For Nigeria, the loans we have taken in the last 8 years cannot be justified. During Obasanjo's time, not too long ago, he made frantic efforts to get our loans either forgiven, is it the word now, or removed. And he tried. He almost took Nigeria out of loans. And today, Nigeria is owing over 70 trillion naira. And I asked my friend here, just before we started, we are part of Nigeria. The money Nigeria is owing now, plus all the internally generated revenue in Nigeria, all the money that we make, what part of Edo State would you say federal government has done something? If you go to Delta, they will ask the same thing. Go to Ondo, they will ask the same thing. So whereas taking loan may be good if you really are sincere with what you want to do with it, the Buhari administration has not justified the loans that it has taken in the last 8 years. And to think of taking loan at the twilight of his administration is, in my opinion, a thing that should not be tolerated by Nigerians. In the first instance, when you talk about what he wants to do with the loans, he talked about giving succor to the poorest of the poor. What has he done with the school children feeding? What has he done with the market traders' money? Is there any school in Edo State where, primary school in Edo State, where children are being fed? And yes, trillions of naira went into that scheme in the same country. When you talk about trader money that the vice president said went from market to distribute, how many of our people got? You want to exit the country in less than 3 months. Within 2 months of your exit, you are talking about bringing about population census, which was due even before your administration started 8 years ago. We are talking about different things. It's now you want to bail out the poor. And talking about the pressure that is mounted on the political class. It is because they impoverize the people. If a man is gainfully employed, even if he is on level 4, he will not go and sit down in the house of the councillor, at the gate of the councillor, waiting for him to wait from 5 a.m. to maybe 10, 11 and beg for money, he may not be giving more than 5,000 naira. Who has pauperized our downtrodden? The political class. And that is why the pressure continually mounts on them. If they have scheme, welfare scheme, or they create jobs that will empower the people, the pressure on them will be less. This loan that this administration is about to take is satanic.
Satanic?
Yes. Otherwise, like he said, let whoever is coming on board decide on what to do. As far as I'm concerned, I don't envy whoever becomes president. We are expecting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come, and he has a loan burden of 77 trillion on him. I see a situation where his first budget, up to 40% of it will be set aside to service loans.
Right.
And we are still thinking of taking loans in Nigeria. What do we do with the ones we've taken? What have we done with the ones we've taken? What are we going to do with the loans that we want to take loans and share to people?
All right.
What economic sense does that make?
Okay.
No.
Now let's leave the loan. It is not saying that right now is going to be inter-party jubilation in the sense that the president-elect is not magnanimous in victory, that is going to invite other parties to come around. Of course, we have a wiki. You understand? I said, look, come and commission this project. I mean, that's like, between the APC and, of course, the PDP. Going to react to that when we return from this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. This morning on ITV, on the ITV network, and we're taking a look at political situation in the country. Countdown to May 29. Barrister Kings was with you before went on that break. The romance, so to speak, between the APC and the PDP. Some are saying it's a total romance, but we have a governor some weekend inviting the president-elect to come commission some of this project. Whether I say it owes him a lot or not, that's a question left for both of them to answer. But there is a relationship. Do you see this government being an all-inclusive government, or is going to focus more on people that are within the APC?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
The romance between some members of the PDP
Yes.
And the APC started, some time before the election. It is not a thing that is unexpected, because now that Tinubu has been declared the winner of the election, success and power attracts people. So it is normal to see that, other politicians from other parties, coming in, perhaps even cross-carpet, jumping ship to be part of the APC so they can get, a slice of the cake, so to say. It's okay for democracy on the one side, for this form of safe romance between the parties, and it's not a battlefield, even if some persons have taken it like that. But again, I have no problem with Tinubu or the APC joining the governor of Rivers State, Wike, to commission this project. We are okay with that. But the fear is, what we are concerned about is, in Nigeria today, we seem to not have an opposition. Like when we have a government in power, everybody wants to rally
around the government.
That and government behind power, behind what comes from Aso Rock. I don't think that should be the case, because if we want to, if we are concerned about democratic consolidation, we should have a formidable, opposition. And thank God, Labour Party, as it were, they are beginning to come up as a third force. Even if, in my own estimation, PDP at the national failed woefully as an opposition party, or a major opposition party.
Due to the quarrels?
During the Buhari administration. But I expect to see more from them, because PDP is a party that, since 1999 up to 2015, they shouldn't just back out like that, because we practice a system where, yes, the winner takes all, but the person so to say, the loser who didn't win the presidential
must only have a say
to play to ensure that democracy is consolidated.
All right.
And outside that, let me just say this for the Labour Party. Those who have won the elections, I think we have, in the National Assembly, many of them, in the calculation, I just want them to not to be like an unidentified figure
force, yeah,
in the House.
It's like you have passion for LP. Yeah.
I have passion, sorry.
Okay.
I have passion for the process that brought them into power.
I'll come back to you.
Please.
Yeah,
they should not betray that process. I want to tell them that, you are now in power. So to say, you're not part of those making the decision.
Yeah.
We should see a difference in what you are doing.
Okay.
If during the course of the campaign you came out to tell people, to tell the youth majorly that you are opposed to senators and House of Rep member taking, huge sum of money for newspaper allowance, wardrobe allowance, this allowance, I think they can do better. They may not necessarily refuse, but if they can hold a press conference and say this money should be put in, I don't want the money. Let them use the money to do a project. We talked about the hospital, to do a project for Nigeria. That will sell and rekindle
do you know what I'm picturing?
The Labour Party.
Do you know what I'm picturing right now? I don't believe that's going to be like the money used for election. You're going to give it back to us.
That's the thing.
All right, comrade.
Well,
yeah,
go ahead.
The romance.
Now,
right now, people are like saying that people are beginning to leave, though they'll be in their party, but they're going to work for the incoming administration. What do you feel about that?
I have no quarrel with coming together to give Nigeria governance. I have no quarrel with that at all. That's fantastic. That's good. But what I want to let you know is that history is a school. We must also all learn. Nigerian political parties are not defined by ideology. I think they are the legal definition. Then I can understand opposition capacity to change the story. But it is just one. Capitalist tendencies.
Capitalist tendencies?
Yes. Now, even if we are talking about, now we have this force and that force, I'm still suspecting. I'm not too convinced. I hope they will convince me. Because you cannot run away from your background. Your antecedents, your story cannot change overnight. You can only tell me just to let me give you a space. Not because I'm convinced that you have changed. Because change is from the inside. If your make is that you are arrogant, Wilson, I'll tell you this. Even when people say you are arrogant, say, me, I'm not arrogant too. And the way you are even saying it, you also show arrogancy. You say, I'm not arrogant. They say, they say you are arrogant. Say, I'm not too. I'm not. How can I say I'm arrogant? No, but your show is not this arrogance.
Arrogancy.
So the point is this, is that working together is good to make Nigeria great. But what are they working together to do? What is the agenda for that working together? Is it for the Nigeria benefit or for my individual benefit? Am I looking for what? We have seen the case, the people today in APC, majority of them were PDP. Am I communicating, sir?
Yeah.
In a PDP.
And some now in Labour.
Some of them are suddenly now gravitate because they believe that this is where the thing is and gravitate. But whether that gravitation has changed, their movement is also, the idea is also changed in their mind. It's a different ballgame entirely. Everybody have an agenda. The agenda is, where is my source spot? Where is the catch cow? Currently, where I will go to. Some people don't even know why they go for political race. They go there because the people are going, just because of money. Some don't know. Even some of them you are talking about today who have won an election in some of the cases, it's only that they are thinking, I'm nice, I'm not going to be a senator. No, so they don't even know.
Yes. And
I expect that people who want to go for offices should understand what they are going to do. And then they, from the very beginning, start doing that. Look at what happened to Obama. Obama was not first a president. He went to the parliament. He was a mobilizer. And over the years, he learned the ropes. He didn't just jump into it and start doing it. No. He understood what was the gap. What were the gaps? Let me see what I can do about the gaps. That's why I say we can. And to the surprise of the what they call the supremacists, a black man came and entered the office of president. Till today, it's still a surprise for all of them. They're still shocked. So the point I'm making is this. Why it is good to have a change of faces, but whether the face you have changed will also change the ideological drive of Nigeria is a different ballgame entirely. My take is this, is that let those coming on board understand what are the issues. Our major problem is our economic issue. Now, if we get our economics right, then we won't have a country that will be a country that will be celebrating. For instance, not just tell me production to, what do you call it now, consumption production. No, I need to have a clear picture of your background.
Yes.
Because many years ago, Nigeria was a production state, a country, where we have over 71 textile industries. Okay?
Over 71.
Textile industries.
Where are we today?
They were operational. IBM was in this country, and they left. These Italian industries, today they are in coma. Only very few of them are still surviving. And Nigerians are people who like fashion. One of our biggest business is fashion. Every day people sew dresses here and there. Young men can make a difference. But I tell you this, my dear, that until and unless we're able to see, because we have more fundamental problem. We're talking about the super matter now. But let me tell you the problem. Our homes have collapsed. We now have houses,
but not home.
More houses than homes.
All right.
And so when you are talking about people who want to listen and change, they must talk about this background. But finally, on this matter, I tell you the truth, is that when they come together, let's hope that are coming together was not conspiracy to see undermine us. Because coming together has been there. We have not got result for coming together. All right. Let me hope that this coming together this time will be a coming together that will change the narrative and give us a sound economy.
All right. Changing the narrative and giving us a sound economy. About 77 textile mill industry. Where are they today? Question for you guys to answer. Before we call it a wrap on this show, because our time is almost up. 2 minutes each. You talked about you standing for what you believe in. That money for newspaper, give it for a project. So don't worry. You have 2 minutes each to summarize the point you're making. Still on political situation, what's your perception? What can you foretell? What can you see right now in this age it will happen?
There's nothing in the horizon to tell me that the new government is thinking of an all-inclusive government.
Are you not saying that Wike will not be part of the government? Is that what you're saying right now? Is that what you're saying right now?
If Wike becomes part of the government,
right, that's what I'm saying.
It does not make the government an all-inclusive government. Wike fought for the APC. He conducted, he went into, engaged in anti-party activities in Rivers State, we all know it, in favor of APC. And so if he becomes even the a minister, maybe 2-3 ministries put together for him, doesn't make the government an all-inclusive government.
Okay.
But because look at the scramble for, or the plans for the legislative positions, they're not thinking of anybody apart from those statutorily given to the opposition parties. But even at that, we talked about what this government would do. Would there be a strong opposition? Of course, there could be a strong opposition. In the last 8 years, the only opposition I have seen, or the stronger opposition, has been the APC itself. APC didn't allow any opposition. Even the press was gagged. Each time we come here, you say, oh, that's not press-worthy. Whatever they say is their own. Decree 4 came back to Nigeria. It was also under the PDP.
Barrister, thank you.
And so if you ask me, yes, opposition was not allowed to thrive.
Okay, thank you. Your 2 minutes is up.
Because of the, okay, no problem. Because of the, what was it they were calling it? Hate speech syndrome, which made them come into being in the first instance.
Thank you so much. You have your 2 minutes now. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Personally, when I look at the present political system in Nigeria, the caliber of persons coming into power come May 29, I can't really tell you that I'm seeing a bright horizon at the front. I can't really,
renewed hope. Don't forget renewed hope. You need to be hopeful.
Yes, we are hoping against hope as the people. in Nigeria. But again, the best we can do is to begin to engage government in the best way we can and begin to hope against hope that the incoming administration will be able to do the projects that will be people-oriented. And again, yes, there's room for collaborations and all that, but we want to see in Nigeria in the nearest future, we have 4 years, where what happened, looking at the Ekperimadu's case, would not repeat itself. We want a good health system, we want constant power supply. What Nigerians are asking for is not out of the ordinary. It's not anything.
Thank you.
But again, I must tell my people that we must continue to engage the government because democracy only flourishes when the people participate and take decisions.
Thank you so much. Comrade, 2 minutes.
Yeah, mine is very clear. I am happy that elections had come and gone, and that the permutations and the forecast by bigger countries that Nigeria was going to have a crisis never came, and that we still be a country even after the elections. I'm happy. The second is that every government is peculiar to itself. Until Nigerian political class start believing in ideological definition so that they can have a direction, the idea of crisscrossing does not give reputation or integrity to any political standing. This has been a story since 1999. People crisscross at a small time, even in the parliament. You are already elected under a political party. The next thing you are crossing because of parties in government. And I do not understand whether you think that I should trust you tomorrow again to give you the mandate to continue.
But I feel that the law right now, the Electoral Act, has already handled that situation.
No. What I'm saying is this. Yes. I'm telling you the moral question.
Questions, okay.
So if you want me to trust you, be consistent, so that I can be sure that the man I'm trusting is consistent, I will not betray him. Now, the final thing I want to say here, there's no crime in people working together. But there is crime if that working together is conspiracy against the people they are ruling. Because my fear is that this working together, I hope it's not the conspiracy that we have been facing. Then the last I want to say, and I want to suggest to the incoming government, is that Nigeria economy must be rescued. If Nigeria economy is strong, my brother, you have a lot of things to gain. Let me tell you, if individually the economy is making sense, I won't be waiting for Abuja to come and give me money. I'll be making money within my country. Investment will come. There will be comfort. America, by the way, does not even have this thing we are doing here. What happens to them is that every state have its own internal economy. And it runs and becomes stable. If a door is stable today, what will I worry about with Abuja? So for me, the current government should sit down and do a critical work on our economy and get the best hand across the globe to help us set our economy
irrespective of political parties,
irrespective of where they come from, so long as they have the quality material to deliver.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate the wonderful analysis. Yes, talking about gag. Anyway, let's leave that aspect for now because we need to another talk in the studio. Well, our time is up. I believe that we took one or two things home from the Ekperimadu's verdict, and of course, too. Political situation, the country countdown to May 29, which is sacrosanct. Please, whatever you took out today from this discussion, let it be a kind of your guiding principle, your guiding light, okay? What will happen if at least 1, 2, or 3 or 4 persons choose to erect medical facilities that can take care of this ailment that is making us to leave Nigeria to other countries? Think about it. We have the individuals, we have men, women that are wealthy enough to give us a first-class hospital and won't bother taking medical trips to all these other countries for particular ailment. Okay, now for the government of the day is coming up, we pray it cuts across various political parties and that Nigeria will benefit immensely from it. Gentlemen, thank you once more. I appreciate your wonderful analysis. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Like what I used to say, the opinions, it has nothing to do with ITV.
That's why there's no position.
But the following regulations governing the airwaves. For all of us here in the network, we are saying have a wonderful Sunday. Bye for now.